see it's have n number of holes in it, and you can see it's having a different shapes in it, right? So we can't able to create this model like this. It's not at all possible, right? But you can see when you are getting this is coming as like this. So that's how like the model will be given as a input for a remastering. Okay, so now this is a model you got. You need to recreate the model with all the features. Okay, so while you're creating a model, it should not have any relation with the parent. Parent means I'm saying like parent as a input is a parent. Okay, so it should be completely a independent feature. You should not have any relation with the parent. Okay, so that will be called as a parametric model. Okay, so I got the model. So from where I have to start the model, and how I need to start the model, and how I have to create the model as a parametric model. Yes, right. Everyone might be having a question. Okay, once you get the model right, the first thing you need to do is you need to analyze the model with respect to which view you have to start the model. That is the important thing. Okay, so you have to analyze the model. So what I'll be doing is I'll be placing the model in the standard views in the axis system. So if you take a x, in x two types I can place it, x front view and x backside view, right? So I'll be placing a cursor on top of x and I'll be clicking on it. And I hope everyone in the session know about Catia, and you are good at the Catia tools, right? Is anybody doesn't know about Catia software and how to use the Catia software? Everyone know Catia, right? Yes, because like the basic requirement for the Tata Technologies interviewers, you should know Catia and plastic modeling. Okay, fine. So yeah, so if you place it in X, if you place a cursor on top of the compass system and the letters in the compass system, it will go to that view. Okay, I'll be placing the model in X. When I'm looking into X, like there is some shape, like some circular shape is coming. I'll place model in Y view. So in Y view also, it will have some circular shape. And Y view, I can like place it in this view or in the other view. And next, let me go to a Z view. In Z view also, it's coming like this, right? So now I need to analyze. So with respect to which view I have to start the model, right? So with respect to which view I have to start the model so that I can able to complete the model. Okay. Usually, so whenever you are getting the model right, you have to check the model for two important things. Okay. First one should be a circular parts. If the part is having some circular portion, you have to start the model with the circular part. And second important thing is, so once you're done with the circular part, right, then you need to check the slanting portion or a slope kind of a portion in the model. With respect to that particular view, you have to start the model. Okay, so then only you can able to complete the model easier. Okay, but if we take this part, right, this part doesn't have many of the circular portions, but it has the like angular portions in it, right? So we have to start the model with respect to this. Okay, so with respect to which view you can start this, so you guys can tell. Any idea? Anybody have idea like with respect to this particular view we can start the model?
With respect to front, sir.
Which is front? So tell in axis system X, Y, Z.
Um, the previous axis which you have shown, sir, with respect
Okay,
to
this, right? You're telling this
yes,
as the
Y view.
view. Okay, fine. So yeah, you're correct. Okay, so with respect to Y view, we can create the model. Okay, with respect to Y, and the second view, with respect to only one view, we can't able to complete the model. So I feel like we can go with two things. Okay, with respect to Y and Z, you might be having a question. Even if you go for a X also, there are some circular portions and some cylindrical portions are available, right? But actually that is for this small attachment in it, right? So it is not for a complete model. So what I'm going to do is I'll divide this part into different segments. Okay, I'll just consider this as the black number one whole model, and this is the same kind of attachment. It's a part two. Okay, once I completed the first portion which I marked, right, then only I can able to create the second portion. So for the first portion, I'm going to consider two different views. One is Y view, another one is a Z view. With respect to these two views only, I'm going to create this model. Okay, is anyone having questions related to this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, great. So fine. I'll start creating the model. Okay. Now I'm going to create this model by using a Boolean operation, guys. Okay. So, and even I'll tell you how you can create this model by using a part design also. Okay. But we are going to create this model by using a Boolean operation. Okay. I'm going to explain how to create the model by using a Boolean operation. Okay, fine. So this model need to be created as a parametric model. So what is the first step you need to do? Okay, the first step in creating the model is you need to create a point. Okay, and you need to create an axis system for the model. After that only you have to start working on the model. Okay, what I'll do is first I'll change the name of the geometrical set as a constructions. So in this geometrical set only I'm going to create everything. Okay, I'll just put it as construction. Okay, I'm going to create a point in, so I'll be clicking on a reference element and clicking on a point. Okay, and I'm going to create a point with respect to this circular portion. I said, right, I'm going to create the point with respect to Y view and Z view. I'll be clicking on the circular portion. I'll be selecting the option called circle, sphere or ellipse. And now if I select the circular portion, the point will be created exactly on the center of the circle and I'll click OK. So I created a point. Okay. So now I'll be checking whether the point which I created is parametric or not. How I'll be checking is I'll be deleting the input. So when I'm deleting the input, what is happening? What is
The point
happening?
gets the point
Yes.
also gets deleted.
So what I said, whatever we are creating, it should be independent. It should not have any relation with the part, right? So, but how I created a point by clicking on a circle option and by selecting the circle, right? So it's not an independent point, or it's a parametric model as of now. So to make it as parametric, right? Once you created a point, right click on the point, isolate the point. Once you isolate the point, it will be, the relation will be broken. So actually let me show you. I'll press Ctrl Z, right clicking on a point first, checking the parent and children for the point. So what is it showing? Parent as input, right? Point one is created with the help of the input. That means the input is a parent, right? Now I'll be right clicking on a point, going to a last option and isolating this. Now right clicking on it, checking the same thing, parent and children. What it's showing? This
Doesn't have
element
any
doesn't
parent
have
actually.
any parent or children,
Parent and
right?
children.
That means now it's become independent, but it's not completely independent. Yeah, the reason is you can see it's having this thunder symbol, right? This symbol, that means it's a explicit, it is not a dimensional one, right? You can't able to move this, or you can't able to apply a dimension to this point. Okay, so it should not be explicit also. When it is explicit, again it's not a complete parametric, you can't able to make changes in it. So to make it as a independent and a parametric, so I'll be double clicking on a point. Once I isolated it, you can see point type, it's coming as explicit, right? I'll be changing explicit to coordinates, and there are some values coming for a coordinates. I'm not bothering about the value, I'm just simply clicking on a OK option. So now it's becomes a parametric point, and I can shift the point from one place to another place. Okay, later we'll come, once we have completed the model, we'll try to shift the points. Okay, and next important thing is we need to create an axis system in the place of where we created a point. We should not use the standard planes available in the model. You can see the standard planes available model, it's actually in this portion. I should not use the standard planes available in the model, and I should not create the point in the origin also. Okay, so if you're creating a point on the origin, and if you're creating a sketch in the standard planes, so moving the sketches from one place to another place is not possible. And if you're using a standard plane, the model is not a complete parametric model. Okay, so make sure two important things: you should not have any relation with the parent body, and the second important thing is, so you should not create any of the sketches, right, in the standard planes, and even in the faces of the model. If you wanted to create a sketch, even you can select the face of the model and you can directly go for the sketch. You can see now I'm creating a sketch, but this also wrong. So what is happening in this case? I'm selecting the face as an input for the sketch. If I if I delete the input, so my entire sketch will be getting deleted. Okay, so what we need to do is you need to create an axis system now. Insert axis system, and you have to create an axis system in the point, And whenever you're creating axis system, disable the current option and click OK option. Now, if you are shifting the point from one place to another place, right, the entire axis system might get shifted. And we are going to create all the sketches in the planes available in the axis system. So my entire sketches will be getting shifted from one place to another place. So that's how the model will be becomes a complete parametric model. Clear? Guys, is anyone having questions related to how to create the model as parametric?
Sir, once
Yes.
again,
Yes.
why now create a point and independent, how it's independent point, sir?
So you have to change it as coordinates.
Yes, sir.
First, like you after creating a point, right click on a point, go to a last option. You'll get the option name called as isolate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you isolated it, the relation from the parent and children will be broken. So
Yes,
that
sir.
means the input won't be a parent no more
Yes, sir.
when you're isolating. And once you isolated, it will come as a explicit. Okay, what you need to do is you need to double click on the point. The explicit need to be changed as coordinates. That's how the point becomes an independent point.
So once again, click point and source.
Okay, let me create a new point. Okay, so I'll create a point. So with respect to this circle, so I'll be changing circle. Click OK. If I right clicking on a point 3 and checking the parent and children for the point, what is showing?
Input.
The parent is input, right? So to break the relation, right clicking on the point, going to the last option and isolate it. So now if you right click and check the parent, see that does this element doesn't have any parent or children. That means the relation is broken. But if I wanted to shift this point from this place to another place, is it possible? No, because it's explicit. So double click on a point. In this portion, it's coming as explicit. Click on a drop down and change it to coordinates. So now you can see it's coming as a value. And now if you wanted to change the value, you can see
Yes, sir.
like that. You can change it from one place to another place. You can able to shift it.
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Okay. Yes.
hello.
Yes.
Sir, how do you rotate that axis according to an angle, sir, actually?
That we'll discuss later. Okay. So
Okay.
I have like another model for you guys. So that is the model I'm going to give it for a tool test. Okay. I'll just give small idea like how to work on that model. During that time, I'll like show you how you have to rotate the axis. Okay, with
Okay,
respect
sir.
to the multiple like X, Y, Z in the axis system itself. Okay. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
I'll tell you at that time. Okay, as of now, like we'll start the remastering. Okay, so fine. So as I said, like I'll be starting the model with respect to Y view and Z view. Even in the Y view, I'll go for the another side of the Y view, like in the top view. Okay, I'll be going to a sketch. Okay, and make sure whatever the sketches you're creating, it's created in the geometrical set position, and I'm selecting the plane available in the axis system. You can see if I select this plane, axis system 1 ZX plane, that means ZX plane I have selected, and the ZX plane is available in the axis system number 1. And go to a projection point, select the point 2, click OK. Okay, after that what you need to do is now we are in the sketch mode. Actually, when I'm in the sketch mode, you can see it's shifted to opposite direction. So because of the horizontal and vertical, let it be as it is. Horizontal, vertical, don't change it. Okay, let it be as it is. Now what you have to do is you have to just select the lines which are straight in the model. Okay, you have to select the lines which are straight in the model now. So I'll be selecting all the straight lines in the model. And in this portion, I can't able to find straight line. It's a 2 arcs. So directly I'm selecting these 2 things. And this portion we have a straight line. This portion we have a straight line. And next I'll be selecting this line. Yeah, that's it. So we have selected almost all the portions of the model, right? And what I'll be doing is projecting it. Project. Okay, and you might be having a question. You said we should not take any references, but again, like what you're doing is we are projecting it. So then how it becomes a like proper model, right? How it becomes a parametric model? Am I right? You'll be having a question, right? So I'm
Yes.
projecting it, but what I'm doing is after projecting directly, I'm right clicking on it. The same way I'll be isolating it. So now you can see. So usually when you're selecting a edge, right, and when you're projecting it, it will come yellow in color. You can see this edge. It's coming yellow in color. It's not editable one. You can't able to edit this, and you can't able to even apply a dimension. If you're trying to apply a dimension, right? So see, it will be coming as over constraint. See, it's a reference dimension. The dimension is coming inside the bracket, right? Do you guys know what is the meaning? So if the dimension is coming as inside the bracket, it's a reference dimension. It's not a normal dimension. So I'll be deleting that projected element. So I isolated it, right? Whatever I projected, I isolated it. So the moment I'm isolating, everything is becomes a independent thing, right? It doesn't have any relations with the parts. Okay. And I don't, yeah.
Oscar, you told that you will be projecting the straight line, but here in the bottom, you selected a curved surface here.
Yes, because in this portion, there is no straight line is available, right? I want this portion should be projected. So since there is no straight line, I'll just like simply selected the curvy portion. So wherever like we have this tangent like curvy portion, right? So what I'm going to do is these are a straight lines, right? I'm going to trim it. It will be becomes like this corner, right? Like this. After that, I will be applying a fillet. Since this there is no straight line this portion, directly I just projected it and I'll be like applying a radius to that. Okay, fine. So once after doing this, what we need to do is you can hide the input model and this place the model in the like place the sketch in the normal view and go to a normal trim. So once you go to a normal trim the lines which are like a straight in nature, and you need to make sure you're trimming the correct line. So if you are having a doubt, right, I'm not sure which line I have to trim, so just unhide the diagram so that you can able to understand that. You can see I'm trimming only the outer lines. Okay, and so this portion like it's look like connected, right? Even in that portion also you need to use a trim tool and you need to trim between the two circular parts. Okay, even though it seems like connected, so once you project it, always just trim it. Okay, so because most of the time it might not be connected on. Okay, and one more portion, this portion need to be projected. I missed to project it. I'll be selecting that, projecting that portion, and after projecting I'm not clicking anywhere in the screen, so that line is automatically getting selected, right? So and isolating it. After that I'll be going to a trim tool, selecting the circular part and trimming with the line, and selecting this circular part, trimming with the line. Okay, so once it is done, right, now what you can do is you can start applying a dimension. So during applying a dimension you can hide this part, right, hide the input, and now we can start applying a dimension. So before applying a dimension, hide the axis system as well. So even sometimes, right, while you are applying a dimension, you might be applying a dimension with the axis system. You should not do that. You have to apply a dimension with respect to the horizontal vertical available in the sketch. Double clicking on it and selecting this line, selecting this portion. This is applied as 15 mm. I'll be just placing it properly, selecting this line and selecting the horizontal axis. Now I applied this value and selecting this portion, I'll be applying this value, and vertical axis to this, applying this, and selecting this line, applying this value, and selecting this line, applying this value. And you can see this portion after applying a dimension also it's not coming, right? Select this line, right click and apply the vertical relation. Previously you might be like using to apply a dimension, to apply a relation, selecting one line, and you'll be using this option, right? Constraint defined in the dialog box. This option you will be using, right? But actually you don't need to use this option, guys. So when you're like just using a dimension, right, directly you can do this. For example, I wanted to apply a relation to this line, right? Select this and it's showing us a dimension, right? I want the relation, right clicking on it, it will show the possible relations. So now I want the vertical relation, select the vertical relation and now apply a dimension and select this line, right click, apply the horizontal relation. You can see it becomes this. And now selecting this line, applying a dimension and select this line, right click, vertical relation and select this, apply a dimension and select this line, apply the horizontal relation and select this line, apply a dimension and select this line, select this line, do apply the angle between these two, right? And select this line, right click, vertical relation, and select this and right click, vertical relation, and select this line, select this. So it's coming as 0.7. And now distance between these two lines is 5 mm. And now I'll be selecting the circular portion, radius is applied, and this circular portion should have a tangency relation. Selecting the circle, selecting the line, selecting this line, selecting the circle, right click, and apply a tangency relation. And since I've applied like 2 dimension, right? I applied the radius and it's having a tangency relation, and even I applied the distance. So because of which it is coming as over constraint. After delete any one of this, let me select this and delete it. So to delete it, I have to exit from a dimensioning method, and now I'll select it and deleting it. Then, so now what we can do is again double clicking on it, and I wanted like send exactly where the circle part should be, or else the starting point should be. I'll be applying like this, and I'll be selecting the line, applying a dimension. Now select this, right click, horizontal relation, and selecting the line, apply a value. Right click, vertical relation, select this and apply it. Select this line, horizontal, and select this line, right click, vertical, and select this line, apply a dimension from the vertical axis. And now length to this line and angle to this portion, and this line and this arc should have a tangency, and applying a value, and this arc should have a tangency, and next this line let's have an angular portion. And once after applying a dimension, right, let me unhide it and check it, is there any deviation is happening in the model. So mostly in the circular portion there might be a deviation will happen, but as of now there is no deviation. I'll hide the input. There are a few more dimension need to be applied. Selecting the line, selecting the circle, right click, apply a tangency. Okay, once after that you can clearly see, so almost everything is fully constrained except this arc portion, right, which are like white in color. So the reason is, so we have applied a like angle to the line, right, but we didn't mention like how much the length of the line should be. So what we need to do is we need to apply a length of the line. I'll be applying a length of the line in a vertical manner. So vertical measure dimension, you can see now everything becomes fully constrained. Clear? Just to show you, I'll be hiding the relations and I'll be hiding the dimensions. You can see it's completely green in color, and let me unhide the part. You can see in all the portions it has been created. And so the fillets, right, in the outer part of the model, you can create it now itself. You can measure those and you can create it now itself. So what I'll do is I'll go to a measure tool, selecting this 7 mm, and selecting this edge 3.5 mm, and this portions we have already applied 14 mm, and selecting this portion 7 mm, and selecting this portion 3.5 mm, and selecting this portion 7 mm. Okay, is there any other places we are having a fillet? Yeah, I guess we have applied in most of the portions. Click OK. So go to a normal to view. Now we'll go to a edge fillet, and before applying edge fillet, right, select the edges which are common. Actually this portion and this portion same fillet, right, selecting these two edges and selecting the edge, and I'm just applying this. Yes, yes, and you can see the fillet is created with some value. Okay, so we have to unhide the dimension, then only we can able to see this. You can see the fillet is created some value 5 point something. So double click on that value and change the value as 7 mm. Now you can see if you change one place, right, automatically the bottom portion also becomes 7 mm. Okay, once after this 3.5 mm in this portion, and also okay, there is one more portion which is having 7 mm fillet. I'll press Ctrl Z. I'll select this also, and now I'll apply the fillet. Just a moment, please. Sorry guys, so we can apply like this. Okay, I exited from a sketch accidentally. I go inside the sketch, and now what I'll do is I'll be just double click on this value and apply the value of 7 mm. Okay, number like 7 okay, now you can see all the three portions has been becomes seen, right? And there is another way also, guys, right? For example, like this portion is 3.5 and where else, like this portion also it's 3.5 right? First I'll expand the measure. Whatever the portion which we have done, right, we'll just try to delete it. This fillet is done, I'll be selecting, I can't able to delete it, I'll go inside it, and whatever the portion we applied a fillet, I'll delete. 7 we applied, measure to 3.5 we didn't apply, this we need to apply, this we have applied, and this we haven't applied. So this three portions I will be deleting it, and I'll go inside the sketch again. So because like when you're saving this, right, we can't able to see this. So this portion is 3.5 and even in this portion also 3.5 right? So I'll be applying a fillet, selecting the fillet, and I'll be selecting this vertex, and I'll be applying the value as 3.117. I'll be making as 3.5. Okay, so but I wanted to apply the fillet same value in this place also, right? What I can do that, right? So I'll be doing is I'll be going to a fillet, I'll be selecting this edge, I'll be applying the fillet. Let me just click on no, just a moment, press Ctrl Z. 3.5. Okay, so I wanted to apply the same value in this portion. What I can do that? So I'll be going to a fillet, selecting the vertex, right? And I'm going to apply the value. So I'll be clicking on it. Yes, yes, and double click on it. So after that, put a equal symbol, and then it should be equal to this fillet value, right? So equal, and you can select this radius value and click OK. So automatically this value will be applied in this portion. And if you wanted to change this, right? If you're changing this 4 so you can see automatically in this place also it becomes 4 That's how you can do. So whenever you are putting an equal, it will have a fx symbol, so it's a relation. Okay, and I'll change the value as 3.5 only. So sorry, 3.5 only. That's it, it's done. Okay, and where else we need to apply a fillet? This corner, right? This is a individual corner, we have to apply a fillet value as 14 I'll be just applying and change the value as 1 4 exit. So once after this, you don't want the any measure, let's delete the measure. Clear, guys? Any questions in this? So you can see now we have created a sketch like this. Is anybody having questions in this?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, and I said, right, we are going to create this model by using a Boolean operation, right? So we'll start it. So I'll just insert a new body. I'll name the new body as new solid. Body number 2 as new solid. Okay, and I'll be creating a new body again. I'll just name this as a base. Okay, so after that, right, what we can do is we can do a pad. So the pad is created in the base. Okay, I'll be selecting this. So I know that this is the portion, starting portion, but I'm not sure to what extent I have to create this part, right? Until to what value I have to create this part, right? So in this case, what you can do is you can right click on this part and go to measure between option. So you have to measure from this sketch plane, right? You can unhide the axis system. You have to measure from the sketch plane to this edge. Select that. What is the value showing? 53.83867, right? Just simply copy that value, close this, and paste that value in this portion and click OK. You can see. Now, just to show you the difference, I'll be selecting the input and I'll be changing the color of it. You can see now wherever we created in this portion, right? It's completely following this shape. Clear? Okay, but this portion need to be created, but we can't able to create that now, so we'll create that later. Okay, we'll just work on that later. Okay, so now this is done. But if we take this, right, in the inner portion nothing is coming, and also you can see in this portion with respect to this view is nothing coming. Okay, so now we created it, right? What we need to do is again define the construction. Let's hide the base part, and we need to create this portion. We need to create this cutout actually, and also we have to create this cutout. So while creating this itself, actually this shape has been created, we don't need to create a cutout. But actually you can see in this shape, right, So the material is coming only till this point, till this age, but there is an excess material is created, right? We need to cut out that portion, and also we need to create a cutout in this portion. You can see, right, orange color edges only to that portion. And also with respect to this view also, we have to create a cutout in this place. So we'll do that things. Okay, fine. Now what I'll do is I'll be defining a construction, and I'm going to create this cutout first, the cutouts in the side part. Before that, if you are like confusing, if you wanted to apply a fillet also, you can fillet it. So let me define the base itself. Okay, and these are the fillets. It's a common fillet throughout this edges, it's coming, but it's not coming throughout this edge. Actually, you can see I have to create a cutout in this portion. Once after the cutout only I can able to apply a fillet. So I'm not applying a fillet as of now. I'll apply the fillet later. Okay, because if I create a fillet, right, I'll be selecting this edge. What will happen? It's having a tangency continuity up to this edge, the fillet will be getting applied, right? But you can clearly see, so is the fillet is coming up to this edge. Until this is it's coming, the part is over with this is itself. So I'm not doing that. Okay, so we'll do that later. Okay, so now let me define the construction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create this portion, the cutout in this place and cutout in this place, also the cutout in this place. If you create these three cutouts, right, so most of the part is completed, and at last you need to create these cutouts. Okay, we'll do that one by one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm defining the construction. Let me hide the base, the part which we created, and now I need to unhide the axis system, and with I need to understand with respect to which axis system I have to create the model. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the model with respect to this axis system. So this plane, so select this and projection point. So construction, clicking on a point number 2 and click OK. Horizontal, vertical, you can just keep as it is. Okay, and this is the portion which I'm going to create as a cutout, right? So what I'll be doing is I'll be selecting this, and I'll be just selecting this edge. Okay, and projecting these two edges. Once after projection, selecting these two things, right click, isolate it. Once after isolating this, I'll be just hiding the base input part, and I'll be using a normal trim, selecting this and selecting this, and I'll be just extending the length of the line slightly. Once after this, so unhide the input, and let's apply the dimension from the horizontal axis to this horizontal line, and to the vertical axis to the line. Okay, and you can see there is a circular portion is coming. Now I'll be creating a circular part with respect to this, and I'll be just creating it. And once after creating a circle, right, what I'll be doing is I'll be selecting the existing circle in the model, and I'll be selecting the circle which I created, and going to a dimension, applying a coincidence relation. The moment when you're applying a coincidence relation, actually what will happen is the coincidence relation will be applied, and the center point of the circle and the radius of the circle becomes same. So now delete the coincidence, and what you can do is you can select this and you can apply the dimension. Okay, once after this, now you have to go to a normal trim. This circular portion need to be trimmed with this, and this circular portion need to be trimmed with this line, not this part. So opposite side of the circular portion. Okay, like this. After that, you can see there are two fillets available in it, and I need to measure the fillet radiuses. So I'll be going to a measure option, selecting this 1 mm and selecting this 1 mm. Both are 1 mm only. So I'll be selecting these 2 points. Sorry, I was in a trim. I didn't exit it. So exited. So yes, pressed escape key. So exited from the trim tool, selecting the two edges, and now applying a fillet and change the value as 1 mm. Okay, after that, now you can see the length is not defined like completely, right? So I don't need to define the length. I'll first create a lines first straight away, like this and like this. Okay, once after this, I'll be connecting these two lines, done. And now what I'll be doing is I'll be selecting this and applying a overall length to a dimension. You don't need to worry about the values, just apply as it is. Okay, and exit. Once it is done, what we need to do is we need to insert a new body. Okay, and just name it as, or like probably you can name it as, let me place it in isometric view first. And yeah, so I'll name the body as top cut one. Okay, and I need to create a pad for this body, and it should intersect with the part. Okay, you can see if I reverse the direction, definitely it will intersect with the part. Let me annihilate the base. We'll check it completely intersecting with the part or not. So in this side it's not intersecting, in this side it's intersecting or not intersecting. You don't need to worry about. If you want, even you can enable the mirror extend, nothing wrong in it. Okay, like this. So the first portion is done. Okay, next is this portion we need to create it. So if I wanted to create this side cut, right, I need to create the model in this side, this plane. So I'll be before that I'll be defining the construction, creating a sketch in this plane. Okay, and the projection point, you can clearly see after selecting the plane, it's axis system plane only. Make sure always it's axis system plane only. I'll be doing this. Okay, but now I have to hide the base and I have to hide the top cut. So I wanted to see the model in the other view. So but it's in this view. So I'll be just clicking on this. Okay. Now what I'll be doing is, this is a straight line, and you can see there is a straight line available in this portion. And last, this is a straight line. Selecting all the three, projecting this, right click and isolate it. Once I isolate it, go to a normal trim, this and this, and extend the length of this slightly, and extend the length of this also slightly. Once after that, I'm going to a dimension. And okay, now we wanted to apply a fillet. Let's just go to measure option. So measure this 3.5 mm only, both the sides. So I'll be selecting both and go to a fillet. So I selected a trim boundary, go to a fillet. Now I'll be applying a fillet and double click on it, change the value as 3.5 mm. And to make this as fully constrained, fully defined sketch, right, I have to create this dimension from the vertical axis to the end of the line. This value applying as it is, and also I'll be applying this value. After that, what I'll be doing is, right, I'll be creating a line, something like this, and make sure the lines which you're creating, it's above the part, it's bigger than the part. So I'll just go to a trim. This line is not connected. I will be connecting this connected, and I will be going to a dimension. Let me apply a dimension to this trim. And I don't know why this is under constraint. We'll try to move it. Yeah, you can see there is a point available in this portion. With to the point the dimension is getting applied, not to the line point. So I'll be applying a coincidence. Now you can see. Let's just have a check on it. ISO constraint, and clearly check it. It's a closed one, right? That is very, very important. Every time you have to check it and exit from it. Okay. And this is going to be our side cut of the model. Okay, but this side cut, you can see the sketch is available in this portion, but it should be come in the side only on that place. It should not cut in these places and all, right? So you should not cut in that places. So it should come only till that portion. So what I'll be doing is, I'll be inserting a new body, and I said, right, it's going to be a side cut. Side cut. I'll name it a side cut and go to a pad. I'll be creating a pad. So the pad should be created in the opposite direction, reverse direction, but I don't want the part should be cutted fully, right? So what I'll be doing is, I'll be giving a minus value for the part, minus 20, 30. Okay, it's not intersecting with the part. So minus 20. Is it intersecting with the part? Yeah, it is, right? But it's not completely. Still, we have to go further, right? I'll give it as minus 15. Yeah, you can see. So but now it's applying, it's cutting the filleted portion. So we should not allow that. Okay. What we need to do is, instead of minus 15, I'll give us minus 18. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, in this portion, you can see it's cutting before the filleted portion. Okay, side cut, it's done. So I hide the side cut. So we created three portions, guys. So we created this this cutted portion, and we created the side cut portion, right? So what else is left? What are the things need to be created, right? After this, you might be having a question. What are the remaining things we need to create? Okay, so we have to create the cutting available in this side. So it's a top cut only. Let me hide the base. Cutting available in this portion. And once after that is done, so we need to create this portion. Okay. And I feel like, so in the sketch number 1, right, I created this also. But if I go with this, right, definitely this portion, creating this portion becomes very, very complex for us. Okay, so what I feel like, I don't want this extension should be available. So I'll go inside the sketch number 1. Okay, I don't want this extension on. Let me delete this line, and let me delete this line also. And I'll be going to a trim option, and I'll be selecting this. Sorry, I'll be deleting this dimension also. I'll be going to a trim option, selecting this line and trimming with this portion. And now what I'll do is I'll just top layer. Yeah, applying this. Okay, now we'll check it. ISO constraint. And is it closed profile? Yeah, it's a closed profile with the 24 cost exit. Okay, now actually you can clearly see. So if you check the base, so the base is created except this portion. Okay, except this portion. This extension I have to create later. I'll be doing that. Okay, and next, actually I can apply a fillet on this portion also. Okay, that's the main reason I just created it. And next important thing is, so you can see, like, is there any other places are available? No, nothing else. And you have to create this cutting portion also. This cut, you have to do that. Okay, I'll be doing that. So we'll do that. Before doing that, we have to create a cut in 2 places. One is this place, we created it, and one is in this place, we created it. At last we have to create cut in this portion. So I'll be hiding this, and the sketch is going to be in the same plane, right? I'll be copying the same plane sketch number 2, and go inside the sketch number 4 now. And I'll be deleting this, guys. Deleting this, and now I have to create this portion. Let me just rotate this. Yeah, you can see these are the portions I wanted to create. So selecting the 2 straight lines and projecting the 2 straight lines, right click and isolating this. Once after isolating it, let's go to a normal trim. Let's extend this slight higher. Let's trim this 2 lines, and let's extend this one a little bit higher. And now exit from a trim, go to a dimension, double click on a constraint, selecting the horizontal axis, selecting the line, selecting the vertical axis and selecting the line, and I'll be just applying a dimension to the lines as it is. After that, you can see in this corner we have a fillet. Let me measure the fillet radius, 1 mm, and I'll go to a fillet, selecting this, and I'll be changing the value as 1 mm. Now I wanted to make this as a fully constraint. I'll be creating a line from this place to this place. I'll be creating a line from this portion to this portion. I'll be using a normal trim and trim. You can see it's done. And I'll insert a new body and naming the body as top cut 2. Okay, so now we almost created most of the portion which we wanted to cut, and I'll be padding this, and the pad should be in the opposite direction, reverse direction. It can cut the road also, not a problem. Like this it can cut. Okay, cutting this. Okay, so now I have created a multiple bodies, right? So what I need to do is I need to define the new solid, and this is a base part. The base part need to be added in it. So I'll be adding the base part in it, so it's added. Okay, and next important thing, there are 3 more bodies, right? Top cut 1, top cut 2, side cut. So these are need to be removed from the base portion. Okay, I'll be doing that. So right click on a top cut 1 and removing from the new solid, done. Okay, and right clicking on a top cut, removing from the new solid, done. And next, right clicking on side cut, removing that from this body. Okay, you can see now, if you just look at this portion, right, you can see in this place it's created a shape, and you can see in this portion also the body is cutted, it's cutted, done. And next portion is If you check it in this side, right, you can see clearly this side also cutted. Once after cutting it, you can see there are places we need to apply a fillet. We need to measure the fillet radiuses. So I'll go to measure 2 mm, and let's go to this portion. So 2 mm. Okay, and let's measure this edge 7 mm. And where else we have a fillet? I guess this portions we need to apply a fillet 2 mm and 2 mm. Okay, so remaining places I've applied a fillet. So okay, I'll just click on OK option. Now go to a edge fillet and select the places wherever the fillet radiuses are common. So 2 mm, I'll put it as 2. That portion done. And next is these two corners. 1. 2 mm, click OK. The places where we selected, the fillet will be getting applied. Now you can see this is same as the given part. Okay, I missed to apply a fillet in this corner. I'll be just double clicking on the existing fillet which I applied. So expanding this, and this edge we need to apply a fillet of 2 mm. So we applied a fillet now in most of the corners, and this corner we need to apply a fillet value of 7 mm. Selecting this corner and applying the value of 7 mm. Okay, now you can see. So we applied it, and you might be having a question, guys. Everyone might be having a question. So we can able to see the part as a like a kind of a sheet metal part, or it's a plate, right? But you are creating the part as a solid part. So how we are going to remove this portion, right? You everyone having a question, am I right?
Yes, sir.
What
Yes, sir.
is
Yes,
this
sir.
part? So we have to work on this part, but I'm not going to work on this part now. At the last, I'm going to work on this part. Okay, I'll be working on this part. Okay, before working on that part, actually you can see this corner we have a fillet. I'll be measuring the fillet. I'll try to apply a fillet that is also 7 mm. Since I already have a 7 mm fillet, I'll be going to that, and I'll be selecting that corner also. You can see done. Okay, now fillets are applied. So next important thing is I don't want the body available in this portion, and I need to create these features. And also you can see if I edit, there is one more feature in this portion, and there are few holes in this bundle. Okay, holes I don't think it's difficult for you guys to create. Holes you can easily create, right? So you can able to create it. Any questions in the holes? Okay, I'll create only one holes, or else let's do all the holes in a single sketch. I'll try to do that. Okay, before doing that, first thing is in the input solid, you can see this portion is coming. In this place, I don't want any body should be available. So I wanted to remove it. Okay, I'll be inserting a new body. I'll be naming the new body as side cut 2. First, I need to create a sketch. I'll be defining a construction, defining work object, and I wanted to create a sketch
Sir,
like in this view. Yes.
can we just shell the solid?
Yeah, we can do that, but we should not do that. No.
Okay.
And even if you are doing a shell, right? So actually what will happen was this face will be coming completely, or this face might be getting removed. We can't able to do shell with this portion. That's why like I wanted to remove this first, and then only I can go for a shell. I'll tell you, like I'll show you how we have to do that. Okay, fine. So now I'll be defining this, and I wanted to create a body with respect to this view, right? That means like I can check the sketches. Is there any sketches are already available? Yeah, sketch 3 is available in this plane, exactly in this view. I'll be copying the sketch 3 and pasting it and hiding the sketch 3. Now it's created a sketch file. I'll go inside the sketch file, deleting whatever available in it, and this is going to be my edge, projecting it and right clicking it, isolating this. Okay, and I'll go to a trim tool. I'll be extending the length of this, and I'll be extending the length of this in this side also. I'll go to a dimension, selecting the line, selecting the vertical axis, and I wanted to apply a dimension to the end point of this lines also. I'll be applying a dimension to this and selecting a line. So make sure it's a little bit bigger than the body. From this, and now I'll be applying a dimension to this line. and exit. So once after this, what you can do is I already created a body, right? Named a side cut to define that, and do a pad, select this, and you need to be careful, guys. So when you're creating a cut, right, you can see the sketch plane is available in this portion. So this cut might be created in this portion also. The portion which I wanted, you can clearly if you click on preview, you can see, right, this is the portion I wanted, but it's cutting on that place also. Let me increase the length first. After that, what I'll be doing is I'll be clicking on a more option. I'll be just giving a negative value -50. Now you can see the cut will happen only in that place. Okay, now this need to be removed from the new solid. Removing from the new solid, you can see that portion is cutted. And so once after cutting this, you can see we have a fillet in this corner, and we need to create this portion. Let me measure this fillet radius 10 mm, and let me measure this portion, it is 7 mm. Okay, so I'll go to fillet. I'll apply a fillet of 7 mm only in this portion. Okay, or else what you can do is, right, so you can do some small modifications in it. So remove, let me delete this remove need to be applied after the remove number 3. Okay, I don't want that remove should be happen after the fillet, because like I have to apply a same fillet in this portion. So what I'll be doing is I'll be defining the remove number 3 as a work object, and I'll be removing the side cut 2. You can see now. Oh, sorry, my bad. I clicked on intersect. Right click. It's not coming. Okay, so now I'll be defining the remove number 3. Right click on a side cut and remove this from the. So what will happen is basically you can clearly see. So remove 5, right? That's a new remove. It is removed next to remove number 3. So even though I applied a fillet, since I defined the remove number 3, so the new feature which I'm creating, it's added into this. And now define the new solid, you can see it will come with the fillets. And I have applied a edge fillet 2 as a 7 mm fillet, right? I'll be selecting this. I'll be selecting this edge also. You can see like this. If you're doing it right, you don't need to apply another extra fillet. So you can like actually reduce the number of steps in the model. Okay, so that's it. So it's done. Next is we need to create this feature. So if we create this feature, the model is over. Okay, so I'll be creating that portion. So I'm going to create that portion. So what I'll be doing is I'll be copy pasting the sketch since it's in the same plane. So and then I'll be deleting everything inside the sketch. And before proceeding further, right, let me just exit from a sketch. Whatever inside the measure, right, I'll be deleting this. So I have applied all the required fillets. I don't want this. And I go inside the sketch. Now I'll be deleting this line, and you can just project whatever straight in it. So you can project this line and project this line, project this line, project this line, project this line, at last project these 2 lines. Okay, so once after that, yeah, you can project this also. Project it, right click, isolate it, and go to a normal to view. So what you can do is you can trim it. So like this. Okay, so done. So we have applied it. So now we need to apply a dimension. We trimmed it. We need to apply a dimension now. And this is going to be having a coincidence relation. No relation. So now it's applied. Okay, so let me just hide the new solid, and let me even hide the input solid. You can see the sketches are created, and we need to apply a fillets. You can see these 2 corners having a fillet. Let me just measure the fillet radiuses in the portion. So go to a measure. So this portion, and it seems like symmetry. This fillet also same, and this fillet we already measured 10 mm. and we need to measure this portion corner 3 mm, this corner 2.5 mm, and this corner it's not showing the fillet radius. I'll apply that later. 7 mm. Okay. Let me unhide the new solid. Actually, you can see this portion we already created. This portion, right? So what I'll be doing is I'll be deleting this line, and I'll be creating a line somewhere in this place. Okay, and I'm going to trim this line with this line, and this line with this line, and I'll be applying a dimension to this line from the horizontal axis. Now it's done, and I'll be applying a fillet to this corner, selecting the fillet and applying the value as 10 mm. Okay, and this corner and this corner, it's going to have the fillet as 1.5 mm. Applying that, yes, and 1.5 mm. Okay, it's applied as 0.5, 1.5 mm. 1.5 mm, and this corner is 2.5 mm. And this corner I need to measure it. So what is the value? 1.5, and this corner is 3. Okay, so it's same, right? I'll be applying a fillet, double click, and put a equal symbol, and then select this fillet. Click OK, and then select this and apply the value as 3 mm. Okay, I accidentally exited from sketch and select this and exit now. So once after exiting from this, you need to create this new body. Insert a body, and you can name this so something as flange. It's a kind of extension, right? Flange. Everything is appropriate naming. Okay, you don't need to give the exact name and all. You can give appropriate name and pad it. So you wanted to know like until what height you need to do. So right click, use measure between, and select this and select the face you have a sketch. So it is the value 60 mm. So I'll be giving the value of 60, preview, and it should not come this much height, right? I'll be giving minus 50. Yeah, like this you can do it. Okay, and next thing is this flange need to be added into the new solid added. Okay, and you can see in this corner, yeah.
Sir, we can measure the thickness of this flange and then just
Yeah, there is a reason I'm not measuring it. Okay, because you can see, right, this extension is available.
yes, yes.
How you'll be creating this extension? This becomes very complex, right? So you have to create this as a new body. So instead of that, I just like given a like normal value. Okay, so you can clearly see what I'm going to know. Okay, so before that, this corner we need to apply a fillet, and it's a round corner, right? This corner is 2.5 mm. That means definitely this corner also will have a fillet of 2.5 mm. So I'll just go to that and apply a value as 2.5 mm. You can see now it's matching with the part. So now we created most of the portions, guys, right? So what else is left? We need to create the holes and we need to create this part, right? So we'll come to that later. So first I'll create this hole. Okay, let me hide the input, and I'll be copying the same plane and same sketch and pasting it, go inside that. And now what I'm going to do is, right, delete the sketch, everything, and create a hole, create a circle, and select the circle available in this, and select the circle which you created, apply the coincidence relation. So by applying a coincidence relation, there are two advantages. So you can see I've created a circle in this portion. It's automatically come to the center, and the diameter of the circle also becomes a proper one. So now I'll be deleting the coincidence relation, selecting the circle, applying a dimension, and selecting the center point of the circle, and selecting the horizontal axis, selecting the vertical axis, and selecting the center point of the circle. That's it. And exit, and this is called as hole. So insert a new body and naming this hole. I'll be naming it properly, hole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pad it, and this can go through the complete part also, not an issue. So I'll be increasing the value slightly, so 1 or 2 mm extra, and this need to be removed from the new solid. So let me annihilate the new solid. We'll check it, is the hole is created or not. Yeah, you can see the hole is created, and the top of the hole is having a fillet. So I need to apply the fillet. I'll measure the fillet. Sorry, measure the fillet. So 1 mm, radius is 1 mm. So let's annihilate the new solid, hide the input, and to this corner, it's having a fillet radius is 1 mm. Okay, fine. So remaining portions, right? Remaining holes, the same way we can create it. For example, if I copy paste the sketch number 1, I can create the holes in that portion. So I'll copy, paste it, and just go to it. Let me hide the new solid, go inside the sketch number 8. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all. Okay, there are 3 holes, right? So I'll be creating 3 circles randomly. So I'll be just creating 1, 2, 3. Okay, so after creating it, let me select this circle and select this circle, apply the coincidence relation, done. And select this circle and select this circle, apply the coincidence relation. At last, select this circle and select this circle, apply the coincidence relation. Once after doing this, I'll be deleting all the coincidence relation. Control key, holding the control key, selecting all the 3 coincidence and delete it. Now go to this, select the dimensions and apply the dimensions. And this should have a coincidence relation. Okay, I'll be just moving it slightly. And what I'll be doing is I'll be selecting the center point and manually applying a coincidence relation. Oh, in case I've selected a circular part, let me hide the input. Let me hide the axis system also. Select the point, select the center point, apply the coincidence. Yeah, done. So now I hide the new solid. And what we can do is insert a new body, exit from a sketch, insert a new body, and just name that as topside holes. Okay, and just pad it. Even it can go through the part completely, not an issue. So just enable mirror extend. I'm reducing the length of the part. Extend and right click, remove this body from the new solid. So you can see this is created almost, and there is a hole in this side. So we can do that. At last, we can create that rib portion. But before creating that, I wanted to see is there any sketches are available in that plane. Yeah, sketch number 2, copy pasting it and go inside this. And go to a normal to view. Let me hide the new solid so that I can able to see the hole. Create a circle.